everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing another picture using Stabilo pens, but this time it's a coloured picture and I am doing a blossom from a tree. So first of all, what I'm doing is actually masking out the picture space so that I will have a nice border when I've finished. So this is just a froggy tape, a low tack tape, which I bought from B&Q. So any DIY store I'm sure will sell it. Just quickly drawing out the quick sketch of the blossom. And I have to admit, I really enjoyed doing this one because it was the first real coloured one, because even the pine cone picture that I did earlier was really just sort of browns and black and white, whereas this one has actually got some really nice vibrant colours. And I was quite interested in the way in which I could use the Stabilo pens. I haven't done a great deal of drawing with these, so it's all about experimentation, and I will definitely be using them again in the future. So drawing in the branch first of all that the blossom's on. And I am a zero botanist, but to me it looked a bit like apple blossom, but I could be wrong there. It might be almond blossom, I'm not really sure. But this was back the beginning of March, but it was in Spain that I took the photos for this picture. It was quite late in the evening, so there was a really beautiful sunset. So I've tried in the background a little bit, you'll see later on the left, that I've tried to incorporate a little bit of sky. So I'm drawing in each different facet of the artwork with the colour that I want represented when I actually come to put the water on. This is a really lovely pink. It's really quite a dazzling pink, a bit like the opera rose colour that Winsor & Newton do in their watercolours. See, immediately you put the water on, it goes just like watercolour. But it's not as easy to kind of move around as watercolour, but it's still quite fascinating and quite magical. What I have found is that once it's dried, it's more difficult to kind of reactivate again, whereas with watercolour you can do that quite easily. But again, this is going to be layers. It's not going to be one layer and it's finished, just like you would in watercolour or colour pencil. Now behind it on the right were some leaves, and I think they were really quite dark because it was getting dark in the evening, so I've come in several times to make that darker. but the dark bits make the paler blossom just pop out. And this was just grass behind, but I didn't want it to be all one colour, so I've added some browns and some greens and different coloured greens too. And all this is an experiment because I've never done this before, so you'll have to wait and see how it turns out. Still a bit bluey, so I don't know if I come back in and make it more yellowy green. What you do have to be careful of is that I had to make sure that the grass bit behind was dry before I went into the branch, because if not it will just all flow into one, just like it would with ordinary watercolour. Now these petals were darker than the sky in the background, so although the blossom was almost a very pale pink, almost white, to make it kind of pop against the background it had to be darker, so I've used a grey. And I really did enjoy doing this one. I think because the portraits were just in black and white, this was quite refreshing to add some colour. And these colours really are quite vibrant. And just thinking all the time, which is the palest piece of blossom and what is the darkest thing in the whole picture, because you really need to know that whatever you're doing, whether it's coloured pencil, watercolour, or even just black and white pencil, graphite pencil, you need to know what is the lightest thing in this picture and what is the darkest thing. And remember, the lightest thing, the lightest colour you can have in watercolour, and the same with these inks, is the white of your paper. So that has to be the lightest thing, you can't go lighter than that. And the darkest thing, well, that's up to you. But once you've made that darkest thing as dark as you want it to go, then that is your reference point, and everything else will be paler than that. So coming back in and making those dark leaves behind, which are out of focus in the photograph, I'm making them even darker, because that will then pull your blossom forward. And I do notice on looking at this that some of that branch in the bottom left hand corner did actually run into the grass, as I hadn't waited till it was completely dry. So I'll have to kind of make the branch a little bit knobbly in the places where it's run. Just putting the little details in the blossom, the stamens and the centre of the flower, the kind of bit that you will really focus upon. And trying to give those centres a little bit of definition. So you still have a bit of a bud in the centre. And I just want those petals to kind of show up as much darker than the sky behind them. I think a fuchsia would be quite a nice thing to draw with these pens. So trying to add a little bit more of darkness to that grass behind. Add a bit more dark to the branches, which will all help the blossom look paler. Now next week I'm going back to coloured pencils, and I'm going to be doing a landscape which has got a boat in it with the Graphitint, Derwent Graphitint pencils. So if you're interested in those, then don't forget to check in next week. So you can see how I'm gradually building up layer upon layer of colour to make the colours more intense. Now I've finished and I'm peeling off the tape. I hope you've enjoyed my video today, and if you have, please like, share and subscribe. See you next time, and happy painting!